Myself, Sarah Green, and Doe and Doris and Sheila are presenting together our process around Cradleboard Teachings. So many of you will know that there's been exciting shifts in the ways that women living with HIV think about and experience pregnancy and motherhood, including the decrease in vertical HIV transmission. And it's also equally important to understand the unique context in which Indigenous women experience pregnancy, birth, and motherhood. We believe that the experiences of Indigenous women living with HIV during pregnancy, birth, and motherhood must be understood within the context of colonization that have resulted in systemic and institutionalized racism. Some years ago, there was a toolkit that was created called the Supporting Mothers in Ways That Work Toolkit. It was developed through the Mothering Study to support more effective and appropriate and less stigmatizing ways of supporting mothers living with HIV throughout pregnancy, birth, and motherhood. It was felt that while it's an excellent document and a toolkit that's been used widely, that it didn't actually speak to the unique experiences of Indigenous mothers. It wasn't grounded in Indigenous history, culture, or knowledge. And so a few of us came together to apply for some funding to start developing a toolkit that was actually directed specifically to Indigenous mothers living with HIV. We thought that we had to go beyond this idea of a toolkit and the idea of a step-by-step process to the provision of culturally responsive care, and rather focus on the idea of including traditional teachings and experiences associated with Indigenous motherhood. And that has become the guiding light for the work that we're doing.
Hello, everyone. My name is Doris. I am an Indigenous woman living with HIV, but that's another story. I am a mother. I am a grandmother. I am a great-grandmother. In my maternal kind of experience as a mother, these tools were introduced to me from my husband's, my late husband's family, and where they used Takanagans all the time, and they also used the mimebizewin, the swing. It was a traditional kind of swing, and there were teachings around these tools that were used, and there was a purpose why these tools were used. And so I really liked that my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren are still being put in these Takanagans. They sleep really well when they're wrapped up in this, and babies are put in those Takabidawswin for a reason, because they're just starting their earth journey. This is what I learned. They're still spirit, and they're still connected to spirit, but they're also still connected to the womb of their mother. So the Tikanagan, the Takabidawswin, actually emulates that womb. They weren't relegated to a room by themselves in a crib where they could see these slats from the crib. They were integrated into the full family life.
So this is the Takanagan. Obviously, this is the piece that keeps the baby safe. And Doris was saying that, you can do this with one hand. And that's the ingenuity of Indigenous people. Like, they didn't have to tie with two strings. It's just one. Here it is. And you just go like that. And it's all coming undone. So easy. So this is Rowan's Waspasoyan. This is the one that he was in that photograph. And so I kind of laugh because he's, almost 6'2" now, and there's no way, maybe he can fit a foot in there.
Although many of us, because of colonization, because of the disruption of Indian residential school and the 60s scoop, many of us have not been able to learn from our families the traditions that were carried on for so long before contact. But when and if we can trust our inner knowing, we all carry memory within our blood. It's in our cell memory. It's in our blood memory. And that was the experience that I had in that circle of women when they lit the smudge and they passed the eagle feather. It was a rush of blood memory, and all it took was the lighting of that smudge and a circle of women. And for whatever reason, that memory came flooding into me, and we all have it. We are here. We're all sitting here right now, and we're talking about the ways of the ancestors. We're bringing it back. We have remembered. We remember. We have that blood memory, and every time we share our stories, we share the little bits that we know, it lights up something else that is in the other person who's listening.